move over into paragraph comprehension. This is the one thing that I really enjoy doing. I mean, I love word knowledge, but word knowledge is kind of like playing the lottery to me. But paragraph comprehension, there's a lot more skill involved, a lot more skill to really put yourself in the right position to succeed. So let's go ahead and talk here. Question types. Today, we're going to be dealing with two main types of questions. Obviously, the first one's going to be the most common one, the inferencing factual questions. So we're going to go ahead and make sure we take our notes here. If this is your first time in a word knowledge paragraph comprehension session, make sure to go ahead and take a screenshot here. That way you can see and refer to these notes whenever you please. So there we have it. Paragraph comprehension, inferencing factual. Remember that what you're being asked to do is pick the answer that is supported by the passage. All right. You're always trying to pick the answer that is supported by the passage. So the key here is really not to try to use your prior knowledge. Like there's going to be times where the passage may be talking about something that you're well versed in. And that's probably the worst situation you can be in, because you don't want to bring what you believe to be true into the passage, into the question itself. You can only work based off of the facts that are presented on the screen. So you don't want to go out there and just grab facts that you believe are true and you believe are going to work out. Never works out. Base it off of the passage. So there's a subtype that we're going to be experiencing here in question 3, I believe, and that's going to be the exception question. So when it comes to inferencing factual, you're picking the choice that's most supported. When it comes to exception questions, let me highlight this right here. Exception questions, you're going to pick the answer that is not supported. You're going to have 3 supported answers, 1 that isn't. Pay attention to the question, because the question is going to let you know which one you're dealing with. It's going to be very obvious. Now, the strategy here, the strategy is, well, use the passage to eliminate the answers that aren't supported, right over here. Use the passage to eliminate those answers, and then pick the answer that's directly supported in the passage. I can guarantee you with every inferencing factual question, the correct answer is supported or not supported. Then, the other type of question that we're going to be dealing with today, sequence of events. Can I get a holler? Can I get a yurt? Let me give you all that mic. Who here loves sequence of events questions?
Yurt.
You?
Not me.
Not me. But right on. Look, I love sequence of events questions. These are some of my favorite types of questions, just because if you're a logically inclined person, like someone who kind of likes, logic flows and A, B, C, D in sequential order, you're in a good spot, because with these types of questions, you're pretty much just putting everything in order. That's what you're doing. And so the strategy here is to typically read the answers first. So eliminate from the first event and keep moving forward. So you got to look out for words like before, after, until then, when, first, second, lastly, like anything that identifies an order or time, you're going to want to pay attention to that for sure. For sure. So go ahead and write these down real quick. Take a screenshot. I'll give you 5 seconds. And while I wait, go ahead. Let me know, how much time do we get per question?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. That's right. 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes per question. So that's it on the test. But today, I'm going to give you 3 minutes per question. All right. At 3 minutes per question here. So Cash asks, how many questions will there be in the test again? For paragraph comprehension, I believe there's 10 on the PyCat. In the full ASVAB, I believe it's still 10, or did they change it to 15 recently?
15.
Yeah, they changed it to 15 recently. Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, so 10 on the PyCat, 15 on the actual ASVAB. Yeah, there's a difference between the PCAT and the actual ASVAB. Adam asked me via text later. I'll send you a video that I made that talks about the differences. And it's very easy to follow along. I make it very clear. I got you. So with that said, I'm going to give you 3 minutes here. I'll let you know when you have 1 minute left. Now, because we have 3 whole minutes here, I fully expect everybody to have an answer. I don't care if it's a guess. Do your best and give your best guess at the end. We got to grow here and we got to take chances here. That's the only way we're going to do it. So 3, 2, oh, got a notification. 3, 2, 1, let's go. The question reads, what gives the Rufus Hornero its name? All right, cool. What gives the Rufus Hornero its name? So here's the great thing. This is a direct type of question. So with inferencing factual questions, sometimes they'll be like, okay, what is the author implying? And sometimes it's, hey, what does this mean? Or what's the main idea? Sometimes they'll make it blatant, like, yo, give me something for this. So that this is Rufus Hornero and the name of it. That's all we care about. All right, cool. Let's read the passage and let's find out. Or you can also look at the choices here and be like, yo, these are really, really short answers. Oh, okay. The Rufus Hornero got its name by its appearance, its location, its nest, its diet. Okay. If I didn't know anything about the Rufus Hornero, then I'm going to go ahead and just be like, all right, these all seem like fair, plausible answer choices, but now I have them in my head. So now let's go ahead and go to the passage. The Rufus Hornero, or red ovenbird, is endemic to South Africa. It is actually the national bird of Argentina. These birds build particular oven-shaped nests made with clay and vegetation, hence its name. Oh, everybody, quick question. Was this first sentence even necessary to read? No. All right, let's take a look at that second sentence. Was this second sentence necessary to read? No. Let's go ahead and focus on that third sentence here, my party people. So the question was, hey, Rufus Hornero, and how did it get its name? Hence its name. What are they talking about? Oven-shaped nests made with clay and vegetation, hence its name. Red oven bird, oven-shaped nests. How did it get its name? Its nest. Answer is C. So even if we didn't get C as the answer, do you see how the proof is in the pudding? There it is. It's right there. It's right there. So again, if we're taking a look at the passage and we're like, yo, how did they get its name? Remember, right here, oven bird. And then over here, what do we see? Let me just make it a little clear there. Oven-shaped nests. And so I see is the answer. All right, my party people. So let's go ahead and bring myself back to reality there. Let's go ahead and move forward. That is C. That's right. Definitely did give it away. So 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead and try this next one out. Let's go. In case you haven't heard, I have an ASVAB program that's meant to help you raise your score wherever you're at. And here are 3 great reasons to go ahead and consider it right now. 1, you get all of my classes. 2, you can text me whenever you need help. And 3, you can't beat the price. I can promise you right now, if you click the link in the description of this video or somewhere around here, and you go ahead, watch how it works and look at the price, I'm pretty sure your jaw's gonna drop. It's actually 24 hours of classes a month plus everything else that you get with it for less than $60. So with that said, go ahead and check it out. I'm Anderson, your ASVAB coach, and I'm proud to help you ace the ASVAB. Let's get to it so we can get that job we deserve. Check it out now. But until then, if you say no, it's all good. Let's get back to the learning here and let's keep crushing it.
So first thing we have to do, what is it? What do we have to do, guys, for paragraph comprehension questions? Read the question. So according to the passage, which of the following sequence of events is accurate? So if we look at the tip right at the top, this is how we handle sequence of events questions. We start with the first part of each answer, and then we'll use the passage to eliminate incorrect answers. So if we go ahead and look at all of these answers, what do they start with? What is the first thing all of these answers have? The Civil War began. So I'm going to assume the first thing that happened is the Civil War began, because it says it right here. We are given no other choice. Then if we look at the second choices in each answer, we have 2 to choose from. A and B say the Revenue Act of 1861 was repealed, and C and D say Congress enacted a flat rate federal income tax. So we have to go to the passage to see which one came next. So the Civil War began. Let's go ahead and figure out which one came next. It says right here, first sentence, in 1894, Congress enacted a flat rate federal income tax. So 1864, I see question or answers A and B say 1861. So I'm guessing that's probably going to be right, but let's go ahead and rule out we can go ahead and rule out Congress enacted a flat rate federal income tax right there, because it happened in 1894. A and B say 1861. So right there, we can eliminate C and D. The next one for
So
A.
pause right there. Let's highlight that right there, because that's actually huge. And I didn't even notice that. So everybody, yes or no? Did we pick up on? I'm tiny. Oh my God. So did we pick up on what Arshina just said here? Because you see that the passage reads, in 1894, Congress enacted a flat rate federal income tax. Then you see here, oh, Congress enacted the flat rate tax, but then you have something that happens before then. Like, can the flat rate tax happen before 1861 when it clearly says 1894? No, that cannot work. That's a flaw there, right? And there are times where you can point things out like that with the problem to get it right. So C and D, we can actually take both of those out right away, because again, 1894 is for these. 1861 happens before that. Good job, Arshina. Keep going.
All right. So now we have to see which one comes next. The Supreme Court rules flat tax unconstitutional, or Congress enacted a flat rate federal income tax. Congress enacted a flat rate federal income tax. Possibly we know that doesn't happen until 1894, but we need to see if anything comes before that, right? So let's go ahead and read the second sentence. Because it was a direct tax not divided with consideration of the population of each state, the Supreme Court ruled it unconstitutional the following year. The following year. So what year would that be, everybody? Do we know? We don't know yet. We don't know what the following year is. So before that, the first and only income tax in the United States was the Revenue Act of 1861, which was used to fund the Civil War and repealed about a decade later. So we're going between A and B. The Supreme Court rules flat tax unconstitutional. It's right there in the second sentence. Or is it Congress enacted a flat rate federal income tax? Which one would that be, right? Anyone? Anyone else? There you go, guys. It's B.
Right on, right on. And yeah, and just to add on top of that, when we take a look at the question here, when we look at the part where, okay, cool, we got to A and B, we're trying to debate these. You can tell here in the first sentence, Congress enacted the flat rate federal income tax. Then it says that they ruled it unconstitutional the following year. So we can tell right away right there, hey, look, they got to go ahead and enact this flat rate income tax. Then they repeal it. Boom. So here in A, they rule it unconstitutional and then they enact it. That's backwards. And yeah, we can definitely just rule A out and we can get B. Nice and easy there. Nice and easy. So to anybody out there who even who got it incorrect, were you able to kind of reconcile there and understand why it was incorrect? Yeah, definitely tough, but there's a lot of words here. Yeah, for sure. Hell yeah. But are we able to grow from this one? Are we able to see, hey, okay, sequence of events questions, we actually have to go from start to finish. We just have to order the pieces in the right way. And I also would love to take a question from Jacqueline. Go ahead. Whoops. I lowered your hand accidentally. Let me go ahead and find you again here. Let me go ahead and ask you to unmute yourself or type your question out or use the mic. Either way, go ahead, Jacqueline.
Yeah, that was the accident. I didn't mean to do that.
Oh, now you made me sad. I was hoping for a question.
No.
Man, ask me a question. Ask me how I'm doing. I don't know. All right, so here we go. Let's keep moving forward, gang. So we got 3 questions to go here. Remember, I'm going to let you know when 1 minute is left. We want to try to get our answers in within the first 2 minutes, but we do have that 3rd minute. Now, this next one, remember, we are doing inferencing factual and sequence of events. If we have an exception question, you got to make sure you're prepared to answer it. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go. All of the following can be implied from the passage except. So one more time, all of the following can be implied from the passage except. So exception question, that gives it away. That gives it away right there. What can we imply except? So what this means is we're going to have answer choices that are going to be supported and those that are not going to be supported. Which one of those are we looking for the correct answer, everybody? The choice that is supported or not supported? Right, we're looking for the one that's not supported. Correct. We're looking for the one that's not supported. Absolutely. So with that said, we're going to now read through the passage. We're going to use these answer choices to our advantage, but typically we're going to go ahead and go back and forth. Passage, answers, answers, passage, passages, answers. We're going to find the one that is supported, find the one that's not supported, and basically just cross the list out. That's all we're doing. So here we go. Before electricity, nothing existed. So before electricity, American cold storage systems were essentially ice and straw packed tightly underground. As an example, in Jamestown, Virginia, there was an old 7-foot pit discovered and believed to be modeled after an English-style ice pit. So, all right, looks like we're talking about how we used to keep things cold before electricity. Sounds good. So let's go ahead and read through the answer choices. Remember, we are looking for the one that is the exception, the one that is not supported. So electricity is not necessary to store items in the cold. All right. Can we support this or not support this? Were they able to keep things cold without electricity? Yeah, because you see here, as an example, there was an old 7-foot pit discovered and believed to be modeled after an English-style ice pit before electricity. Before electricity, American cold storage systems were essentially ice and straw packed tightly underground. There you go. That's how they kept things cold. That's how they did it. Without electricity, would I do those things? Only if I had to. So that is supported. And we're going to go ahead and duplicate that right there. Supported. So that makes A incorrect. All right. Next, B. B says people used to store meat underground to keep it frozen. All right. People used to store meat underground to keep it frozen. Angela says insufficient information. Is Angela correct here? So what do you mean nothing supports that? All right, so here's the thing. There's 2 flaws with this answer choice. There's 2 flaws here. When we take a look here, where in the passage is storing meat underground? Where was that implied? Right, never says anything about meat, right? Never says anything about meat. But even if you wanted to try to pick B, everybody, the other flaw with this question, what word should I highlight to really just put the nail in the coffin? Exactly. Frozen. We're talking about cold storage systems to keep things cold. We're not talking about keeping things frozen. And also, how did you freeze your meat back then before electricity? Did you have to go take it to the North Pole and try to bring it back? No, it would melt by the time you got back. That doesn't make any sense, right? Doesn't make any sense. Nope. No, that is not supported. And that's why B is actually the answer. Did I really put that over here? grab that. There we go. Supported right there. And boom. So C, just to make sure we understand why C and D are incorrect. C, the English may have influenced the ice pit found in Jamestown, Virginia. Okay, as an example, in Jamestown, Virginia, there was an old 7-foot pit discovered and believed to be modeled after an English style ice pit. That's supported all the way. Supported all the way. And then lastly, D, ice pits can be made underground. 7-foot pit discovered, believed to be modeled after their ice pit. Ice pits can be made underground. I think we can all agree there. Supported as well. Boom. So that's why B is the correct answer, because it is not supported. With that said, any questions before I move on there? Right on, Kenley. I got it wrong. You're these guys. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. According to the passage, which of the following represents the correct sequence of events? So if you are using your phone to access this session today, obviously you're going to be squinting. We'll try to figure out different ways to get the text on here, especially for sequence of events questions, because obviously, with your phone, we do want to make it still possible. So I got some ideas already. We can probably, for questions like this, take away the logo, take away the tip, and then just make the font bigger. We'll figure things out, guys. We got you. Another thing I can do is also, maybe put the answer choices in the chat box, but that's probably going to be a little too much. So let's just go ahead and get started here. All right. Following represents the correct sequence of events. So again, the strategy that I really expressed to y'all was, hey, let's go ahead and use the answer choices. Use the answer choices, and let's go ahead and get after it. So A starts with the Hill Sisters write happy birthday. The Hill Sisters write happy. Okay. Looks like we can actually just copy this. Starts in the same way. Starts in the same way. And starts in the same way. So do we have to debate whether or not the first thing that happened was the Hill Sisters writing happy birthday? Do we have to debate that? No, I'm taking a look right there. They're all purple. All 4 answers are purple. I don't have to really do anything here. So what's the next thing? All right. The next thing that we read is the Hill Sisters sell happy birthday royalties. Happy birthday outlives the Hill Sisters. Warner Chappell buys happy birthday. And lastly, let me use a different highlighter color because I don't have one available right here. So Warner Chappell owns happy birthday. Okay, so everybody, what's unique about the next step here of answers? What's unique? What advantage does this give us? That's right, Felicia. They're all different. They're all different. That's right, Jacqueline. If you notice here, they're all different. And because all of these answer choices are different here at this point, whichever one we find to be correct in terms of the next step, that's the correct answer automatically. Automatically. Tell me if you see that, yes or no. Because all of these choices are now different at this point, we can find earlier than normal, the correct answer a lot faster. So that's our focus right now. That's our focus. Our focus is, hey, did the Hill Sisters sell happy birthday? Did happy birthday outlive the Hill Sisters? So basically, did they die before all that stuff? Warner Chappell, did he buy happy birthday? Did he buy the song? Or did Warner Chappell own happy birthday? Or which one of these happens first? Let's go through. So in 1893, the Hill Sisters needed a song for their kindergarten class to sing on birthdays. At one point, Happy Birthday was the most profitable song of all time. Its ownership bounced around since the Hill Sisters' creation, but it reached its financial peak with Warner Chappell, a music company claiming royalties for the song's use at $700 a play. After further investigation, Warner Chappell's claims were soon proven invalid, and a $14 million settlement was paid out. Whew, that's some drama. But let's go ahead and get back to the action here. We want to know whether the Hill sisters sold it for royalties. Everybody, did they sell it for royalties? Can we find here anywhere where it says the Hill sisters sold it? Let me see. Hill sisters, at one point, most profitable song of all time. Ownership bounced around. So ownership bounced around since the creation. Did the Hill sisters sell the song? Sell the royalties? Did they sell it? No, we can't prove it. Can't prove it, right? We can't prove that they sold the royalties. We can't prove it. And because we can't prove it, no support for that. No support. We can't say it happened. Can't say it happened. B, Happy Birthday outlives the Hill sisters. So can we read in the passage here that the song was sold after their death? Was that shown there? I mean, can we see that anywhere? Like, does that say it? No, it doesn't even mention death, right? Doesn't even mention death. We can't really say that either. Outlives, their deaths weren't mentioned, right? Next, C, Warner Chappell buys Happy Birthday. Okay, Warner Chappell buys Happy Birthday. Ownership bounces around, reached its financial peak with Warner Chappell or Chappell, whichever way you want to pronounce it. A music company claiming royalties for the song at $700 a play. Okay, so music company claiming royalties for the songs used at $700 a play. Did it say ownership bounced around? Did it say that they purchased it? Did they say that they purchased it? No. Warner Chappell doesn't buy it. Doesn't say it, at least in the passage. So C, also gone. By process of elimination, you can pick D, and that's because, yeah, Warner Chappell claims ownership to Happy Birthday right here. They claim the royalties for it. They claim the song. And then with the next one here, Happy Birthday becomes most profitable song of all time. Correct. You see here, was the most profitable song of all time at one point. Or at one point, it was the most profitable song. Read this down. The ownership bounced around, reached its financial peak, most profitable song of all time. Financial peak with Warner Chappell. So once Warner claimed the royalties, it became the most profitable song of all time. And then after the fact, after the investigation, Warner Chappell's claims were proven invalid. So he no longer earns the royalties. So that's why D is the answer. I know this one was a lot. But do you see why? Do we see why, my party people? That one's definitely a tough one. Yeah, it definitely took a long time to read, for sure. Absolutely. I agree. But it's all about, again, how can we really employ these strategies the fastest? And notice how with this one, we were able to go, oh, no need here. Oh, the second part of the question, let's go ahead and get after it. Let's take care of it. So lastly here, we got one more to go. I'm going to give y'all 2 minutes and 45 seconds here. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Sequence of events questions are part of the ASVAB. Yes, sir. Let's go. Go ahead.
All right, guys, first things first, read the question. According to the passage, what is significant about Mesa Verde National Park? So what are we looking for, guys? What does the question ask? You can type it in the chat box. What are we looking for? What are the two keywords from what's significant about Mesa Verde National Park? Exactly. Great job, guys. All right. And since these answers are short enough, let's go ahead and get familiar with them so we can take some out once we're reading. So A, its current scenery. B, the preserved dwellings. C, its former inhabitants, or D, the future location of a national park, maybe. All right, let's go through. We're looking for what is significant about the national park. All right, first, let's read. The cliff dwellings of Mesa Verde National Park are some of the most remarkable and best protected of North America. So what is significant? I see remarkable there. In fact, Mesa Verde was the first national park to be recognized for works of man as an acknowledgement of the former Pueblo Indian residences. So what is significant? Can we find any words in this passage that is similar to significant? Do you guys see any of those words in there? Remarkable. Anything else? The first, best, remarkable. I'm also looking maybe for another word. Best. All right. So yes, most remarkable, definitely. Some of the most remarkable and best protected of North America, the first national park. So mostly what we're looking for here is what's significant. And it says most remarkable and best protected of North America. What exactly in this sentence is the most remarkable and best protected? Can anyone identify that? What are they talking about is most remarkable and best protected from this sentence? Cliff dwellings. Do we see any answers like that here? Yep. I see B, preserved dwellings. Right there. So that is the answer, but if you pick something else, let's go ahead and explain why those are wrong. It's current scenery. So I don't really see anything here talking about scenery. If you guys do, maybe you could point it out to me, but I don't see anything about its current scenery. Its former inhabitants. So its former inhabitants would be the Pueblo Indians. But again, it's talking about the former Pueblo Indian residences, so dwellings. And then if you also read that same sentence, in fact, Mesa Verde was the first national park to be recognized for works of man. They're recognized for works of man. So maybe this is why you would have picked the inhabitants, because it says works of man, but we're looking for works. What are the works of man that we're talking about here? What is being acknowledged? What is the works of man? The preserved cliff dwellings. So again, and then D, the future location. I'm not really sure how we're going to move a national park, but that's automatically out for me. All right, guys, does anyone have any questions about that?
I tried to see if that would work, and it actually did. So I found the image on my phone, copied it on my phone, and pasted it here. That was awesome. All right, so I'm going to do that a little more often. It looks a bit like you. Shut up. All right, so let's go ahead here and let's cap this off. Hey, I hope you enjoyed the first half of this recording. And if you want to watch the full recording, the full version of this, and every single class I've ever done, then go ahead and consider joining my ASVAB All-Access Program. It gives you access to 24 hours of classes per month and every single recording I've ever done. And on top of that, you get to text me whenever you need help and get thousands of extra practice problems to work on whenever you want, 24/7, with video solutions to the math questions. That way, you can keep growing, get the score you want, and that job you deserve. I'm Coach Anderson. I have a master's degree in teaching, been doing this for over 10 years, and it's my passion to help people succeed just like you. So let's go ahead and lower the test anxiety. Let's go ahead and get rid of the blanking out feeling, all of that, and really replace it with true confidence that we can take into test day and get the results that we want. So again, get the ASVAB All-Access Program, or shoot me a text if you have any questions about it. But there is a video on the page with the link. So watch that video to see how it works, or again, shoot me a text right over there. There's my number. That way you can learn more about it and truly understand that this is about helping you succeed and our community here to help you enlist. So again, sign up now, get started, and get the score you want. Let's get to it.